Hi, so I'm here with my father, Neeraj, and he uses Facebook both for personal and business. It's about 50-50. So he has kind of the perspective on a personal use and a perspective from, incorporating your business life in there as well. So hopefully we should have some interesting conversations about that. So thanks so much, Dad, for joining me with this podcast.
Thank you for having me, Sid.
Okay, so let's get started with the first question. This one's about terms of agreement with Facebook. When you sign up with Facebook, you sign your terms of agreement. You see that big blocks of text and everything. Do you ever read it? Do you ever think about it?
No, I don't read it actually, so I just accept it.
You just accept and click next, install, and go for or
right. After looking at all those Facebook things going on, I was thinking that whether I should read it or not. Mm-hmm. But still, it is like too much effort to read the fine print, so I'm not sure I'll be.
Right. So, based off of that, do you ever feel worried when you're signing up? Like, oh, you didn't read anything? Because in normal life, you really wouldn't sign anything without reading it, right?
Right. For Facebook, I'm not really that worried because whatever information I'm sharing that I want to actually share with the world. So I think that's not the info. I don't share any information on Facebook which I don't want to share, and the one which I want to share, I don't care like whatever way they use it.
Right. And then do you ever wish there was a tool that would make it easier to read? Do you ever want to figure out how to read all the terms of agreement?
Yeah, it would be better like if I get a summary of, because there's too much there and too much legal language which becomes difficult to understand too, right? So you need to focus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of patience is required. So
right.
So normally I see, okay, there are billions of users in Facebook who are accepting that privacy policy, and I'm one of those billions of people accepting it. So I said,
so
okay,
it doesn't matter.
Okay. The other attorneys who are also on Facebook, they might have read it. If there was anything, they would have sued Facebook. Right. So I say, okay, somebody has done the work, right, out of billions of people. So I said, why should I waste my time on that? Anyways, I'm not sharing any confidential information on Facebook, so I said it's okay.
Definitely. So then moving onwards to Facebook's partnerships. Did you know that Facebook partners with third-party companies, other companies that track users' activity outside of Facebook?
I know.
They hire them to track their users. You do know that?
Yes, I know that.
Do you know how much data they collect outside?
How much data they collect? They would collect the data whatever we share, right? I don't think so they are able to hack into my phone or laptop. I think they should not. If they are doing that, as I think whether I read the privacy policy or not, they should not, right? They would not be writing in the privacy policy that, okay, we'll hack into your folders on your laptop.
Define hacking. What do you define as hacking?
Hacking is the information which I haven't shared with them. If they try to get from my phone or my laptop, from my other folders, that I consider as hacking.
Okay.
Right?
So this is great. We'll touch upon this later.
Right.
Okay.
But the information which I have shared with them, my photographs, my location, those kind of stuff, if they want to share with anybody.
But you don't feel uncomfortable with the fact that you chose to share it with Facebook. Yeah. But now Facebook is choosing to share with other companies.
No, that's fine, because I know like they can use the data to send personalized information to me to influence my thought process, because now they know where do I live, what I like, right? Mm-hmm. So they can try to influence my things, but I think that's okay, right? Mm-hmm. I know how personalization works, and they can target me, and they can influence my thinking. But yeah, so that is their job. And it is my job to get influenced or not, do my research. So, but I know, they share the data and they can do their campaigns to influence me.
So kind of an example with the third party is Axiom. Mm-hmm. They have a database of a lot of the US consumers out there. The majority of the US consumers, right. They say, if you have a good internet profile, they said they have a profile on you. Mm-hmm. So they have about 3,000 data segments per user. So these data segments, I know it's kind of confusing, but these data segments mean like specific details like presence of children in the house. They can figure that out through your activity. They can figure out presence of elderly in your house. They can even figure out some pretty harsh stuff like gambling addictions. They actually have that as data points on some people. Gambling addiction, gambling problem, expecting parent, pregnancy in the house. They have all of that information just from tracking you down in activity on your internet. So does that make you feel uncomfortable? Did you ever feel like you should be stopped following? You should be stopped? This should be stopped?
I don't think so. We can stop that because if you're using smartphones which has GPS and everything, all the apps there, right? We download all the apps. We don't go into details on all of these apps. Like for example, Live 360 app is there on my phone. They're also tracking me, right? And I think Facebook should be more responsible than Live 360 or somebody like that, right?
Right.
I'm hoping, right?
You're hoping.
Yeah, same thing with Apple, right? Apple also knows because I'm using the Apple phone. They know, right? My family uses the Apple phone. So they know this family lives at this place, how many phones are together in the room, right? So if somebody wants to track to that level, yes, right? If you don't want to get tracked, then better switch on to the old school phones, right? Don't use smartphones then.
So you think it's another kind of...
Right, same thing like...
Something that comes with using the internet.
With the technology. If you use Alexa and like, who knows, Alexa, they also know, right, what is happening in their home.
But don't you think there's a clear boundary though? There is a clear boundary. Why are they already crossing it? We expect, okay, from just normal standpoint, if you want to use Facebook, we use Facebook. But we don't want Facebook to keep tracking us. That's not what we want.
Right.
So why do they do it?
I think
just like with Alexa. We want Alexa to help us shopping, but we don't want Alexa to always listen to us. So why they do that?
Yeah. So first of all, Facebook, right? First, Facebook is a free service, right? They're not charging you anything. They're not charging us anything, right? It's a free service. If you don't like it, if you are uncomfortable with Facebook, right? So we can just stop using it, right?
Right.
So that's our choice, right? Yeah, with Alexa now, Alexa we are paying something, right? There we have bought the Alexa and we are saying, okay, Alexa should help us find songs or shopping or eating areas, right? We never expect that Alexa should start listening when we don't want it to listen, right?
But it is listening. That is the state of technology.
Right, but that's what Amazon says. But if tomorrow it comes out that, okay, they are listening, then it's bad because I paid for that service. That's what I think.
Paid for
If I paid
Alexa.
for Alexa and then I want them, a paid thing, I want it to do only that specific thing, right?
Right.
But it starts listening, that is bad, right?
Right.
Coming to Facebook, right? It's a free service.
So they need to make money. They need some way, profitable
model, right? And if you don't trust Facebook, it's a free service. You haven't paid them anything to get you connected with your friends and to share stuff and even to generate business. I have a business. We generate some business from Facebook because we do social media campaigns, right? So if you're not comfortable, then get off Facebook, right?
Right, but there are other services that also provide free things, but they do not have to do so many. You could say email. You could say
till the time it doesn't come up, right? Google also knows what all we are doing.
Oh,
right?
Definitely, Google knows, but Google is very careful with the data as well.
See, this data nowadays is so precious, right? Every company is after this data, and this data analysis is so big, right? Because they can influence governments, they can influence elections, they can influence your shopping pattern, they can influence your e-commerce.
Every aspect of life.
Every aspect of life they can influence, right? So it is so powerful, right? Now it is up to you, right? How much you want to share. Hacking is bad. If they hack into my laptop and take my passwords and that is bad, right? So that is not good, right? But if I share something on Facebook, my pictures, my photos, my locations, right? They ask, okay, do you want to share your location? I say, okay, right? So then I think I've given them the right to use it whatever way they want to use it.
Right. So you mentioned the hacking again, right? So this is one of the talking points I had planned for later, but we could cover it right now. I personally experienced firsthand how deep Facebook goes on your mobile by meeting someone in Cal Poly on the basketball courts. Never met him in my life. Have never seen him. I ask for his name and number. He gives it to me. I add it on my phone. Just my name and number on my contacts from my phone. I remember this very clearly. And then by the time I went home and checked on my Facebook profile on my computer, he had popped up on the recommendation on the Facebook site. I've never seen him recommended at all. But the moment I entered him in my number and his name in my phone, he popped up on Facebook. And then I confirmed it. Facebook does give you access to your phone book and text messages to a certain extent. And even it'll be unclear because they will never fully reveal how much they can access to the phone, but I will just expect the worst case scenario is they access most of it.
Yeah, they access it because WhatsApp is a Facebook company, right?
Everything, and also
WhatsApp accesses your contact information
as well.
right?
So do you see that my intention was never to include him on Facebook, but Facebook made that decision for me.
But at one point they would have asked, is it that to share your contacts with them, right? They would have asked. You don't remember now.
Right.
But they would have asked and you would have said yes. So then you have to be careful what you say yes or no to, right?
I agree. That's a fair point.
Right.
And
then you say, okay, don't share my contacts with Facebook. They always ask, right?
They do. But then this also kind of leads into the other thing is they can add terms to the terms and agreement after you sign up, and they do not have to tell you.
Yeah, right. So
are you aware of that?
Yeah, I know. That's an ongoing thing, right? Terms and conditions would change because it's a company, new technologies come up. Tomorrow, artificial intelligence will come up. They will have to change the terms and conditions.
Don't you feel that they might be pushing too quick before they realize what they have? This idea, I think, is one of the main causes of why data breaches happen. Is because they're pushing for new technology before realizing what they have. Well, how they can secure it? And this terms and conditions, because they have the ability to just add it afterwards whenever they want, not letting the customers know they're not being held responsible for this. That's what gives them the idea of being so careless.
See, even the first time when they put the terms and conditions and privacy policy, I never read it.
Right.
Even if they put it on my face, I will not read that fine print of three pages or 2 pages, whatever pages are this, right?
Right.
So even if they change and they send it in an email to me or text it to me or put on my face, still I'm not going to read it.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
The fine print, right?
Right.
So yes, they can change because my thinking is if there are 2 billion users on Facebook, right? If 2 billion people are signing up for it, I said earlier also, there are attorneys there in the world. They're also on Facebook. I'll say, okay, attorneys are the experts. They will read it. If they find anything wrong.
But I would be careful with this idea because...
See, one thing is, I think...
Just following the mass market has also led to mass negative outcomes as well. You can see so many you can even build it up to the banking crash. There's so many people investing and everyone thought they were doing the right thing and it crashes.
Right.
Saying, I don't think that's a good idea to follow.
You're absolutely right? But again, you have to see like how much time you want to invest in that and what you're sharing, because it is, like I said, sharing contact information, sharing whatever I'm sharing on Facebook or social media, it's my choice, right? What I want to share. I never share things which I don't want to share.
Right.
And the other thing is, what in my opinion is that Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, they're all responsible companies.
Yes.
Right? And they're responsible companies, responsible people running those companies, right? So the problem, it can go south like it went earlier. It went earlier with other banks also, right? Banks also go down, right? At one time they are very reliable, but suddenly they go down, right? But with this, I think it's social media and I trust them and I don't have that much time to read the things. And frankly speaking, when I open up a bank account, banker gives me a thick document a disclosure document. I never
You
read
never
that.
read that.
Also, right? I don't know what the process should be for that, because
Right.
the banker says, okay, we have to give it, and it is 5 or 6 pages fine print,
But
and I
you
just come
signed it.
home and shred it. Right?
Okay.
So even the bank disclosures and terms and conditions I don't read from Bank of America.
You definitely don't care
So I definitely don't care
about Facebook.
right?
Right. And so kind of leading into, the money that Facebook earns, you probably know that Facebook runs a lot of ads to earn that's their profit model. That's their whole idea. The idea, how do you feel? We talked about this, that this is a free service. We're using a world-class web application, a very top class, to connect people from all over the world, and we're using it for absolutely free. But they are making billions of dollars off of our data that they're selling and all the
same
ads
thing
that
with
they're
Google,
running.
same thing. Yeah?
Everything, yeah. Do you ever think that this model should be changed so that at least consumers can know how they're making money, or maybe consumers get a section of the money or some way?
No, consumers are getting an excellent service of connecting friends, right?
And you think that's enough?
I think that is enough, and I think that's a very good business model, which is a win-win for everybody. Right? Consumer is the king.
Yep.
They are getting free service. They are getting good e-commerce. They're getting good recommendations from their friends, from peers, right, from other people. So I think everybody is benefiting. It's the survival of the fittest. From the businesses also, like good businesses are surviving, the others are unfortunately having to close down, right? Right. So I believe this is a good model, and giving money back to consumers, it doesn't make any sense. I hate that concept. Like sometimes I get like 5 cents from AT&T from some lawsuit for $300 million, and they send out check for 5 cents or 30 cents. The company got hurt for $300 million, but everybody gets a check for 15 cents, which is useless. Right. I don't even go and deposit in my bank, or even if I deposit, it doesn't make any difference to me, right? But it's a huge loss to the company, right? So same thing with Facebook. If they start distributing, say, $1 each to 2 billion people, or some small fraction of the money, right?
It would be impractical.
It would be impractical, right? To even print the check and logistics and build a system out of it to mail out the checks, right? It would be a huge dent to Facebook, right? Rather than that, I think if they invest that money in cutting edge technologies like artificial intelligence, which is good for the mankind, and definitely it's good for Facebook, like it is capitalist society, right? They come up with a good idea, they connect all the people in the world, and they make money. It's a business model which everybody knows. It's not hidden, right? Everybody knows they are making money by giving the free service to the people and generating revenue from the ads from the corporate world. So,
and are you also okay with the idea that they do, they have general terms in their contract too, like research, which is very open-ended, which allows them to do a lot of stuff with the data that would be otherwise maybe looked upon as not as ethical. Okay, so I'll bring a more concrete example with this research. Is that Facebook also got in trouble because it had a secret project in which they had engineers go to hospitals and try to convince them to release some hospital data to the patients as well, from the patients. And their idea is that this is a project that better connects patients with doctors and opens up communication. Now, the problem I see is they couldn't even handle our texting and normal data. And now Facebook is trying to go into health data. How do you feel about that? Do you feel comfortable that they already dropped the ball with this, all of our texting and photo data, and now are you really feeling comfortable with allowing Facebook to go into hospitals with the current system they have?
Right. So first of all, there is a difference between secret program and a confidential program, right? Secret program, I would say that's a negative sense.
Okay,
confidential, I'm okay with it, right? So if they say take the blood group of 100,000 people, right? As long as I think they don't disclose the names and they use...
Do you honestly believe, you being in tech, that your name isn't going to be scanned?
It will be scanned, right? But as long as...
It will be in a database.
In the database, right?
Already at this point, your name and a whole profile of you is somewhere.
Somewhere, right? And same...
And it might have been hacked already. It most likely has already been hacked.
It could be. It could be. Like
Very likely.
Even Experian got hacked, right?
Everybody's been hacked.
Right? The unions who maintain our credit history and all, their data gets hacked, right? So
Their data gets hacked.
That is how it is, technology.
And it may be even worse. This is just so far the ones that have caught.
Yeah, ones that have caught, right?
There could be even more hacking that's been going on that's been uncaught so far.
Right. This TransUnion, Experian, they have all our data, right? Right from beginning to like what all we do, right?
Right.
So our data is there somewhere, right? Even when I go to blood lab, right? They have all my data, right? If we can give our data to them, then why not Facebook? Who might be, or Alphabet, who might be using our data to do some research for the good of the mankind. And I don't see any problem.
But you don't...
As long as, like, okay, there could be, it's technology, right? And it's always like that, like, people build something and there are always hackers after it, right? And that game, cat and mouse game, will always be there, right?
Right.
Always be there. One thing is, okay, we go back to the Stone Age and we say, okay, we don't do anything and you're good, right? But if you have to move ahead and with technology, these things will happen. Sometimes your data will get hacked, then you have to tighten your things. Imagine things how they were 10 years ago and how secure, they are more secure now, right?
Right.
And as things mature, they'll get better and better and better, right? So we cannot just be scared and say, okay, Facebook did this or this happened. So I think he honestly said that, okay, it was an error, right? And they are going to fix it. And it is complex, technology is complex, it will take them time to fix it. And I think they will fix it. And then something else can happen. Right? As individuals, we need to be careful. Right?
About
on our side, okay, how to secure our data. It's our responsibility too. And how much data we make public, how much we don't, right? So, and then we have to be responsible ourselves too. Companies also need to be responsible, for sure. Right? But in that sense, we cannot have that, okay, don't make any advancements in technology, don't analyze our data, right? Because unless until you don't analyze patients' data, how will you come to do the research? How can you find new treatments? How can you find new medicines? You have to do the research, right?
Do you think that it could be improved though? This
definitely.
regulation.
It's a continuous improvement. It'll keep on going, right? That's what I said.
Do you think that Facebook just should step back though from everything they've been trying to do and focus more on security? Because they have been in trouble for security pretty much since the inception of Facebook. They have been in trouble with privacy from the start.
So, technology and IT evolves, right? You cannot hold on everything and say, okay, when the perfect thing will happen, then only I'll move forward. That perfect thing will then never happen, right?
You just think it's...
You always
have to move.
You go from iPod to iPad to iPhone, right? And you keep on...
Improving, even though it won't be ever, each product's not perfect. It's
right?
just...
There will be bugs, things will get hacked, the iPhones will get banned, right?
Right.
So, but unless until, and if you wait for the perfect thing you want, product you want to take it out, that will never happen. Then you just keep on waiting and then the time flies by and then you lag behind, right?
So you think that this is also necessary for technology progress?
Yes.
You think being this fast, this quick,
yes.
and just because you're trying to survive in this business world, they said this, you may have to cut some corners, and that's where
not cut some corners. It's not cutting some corners. It is like in retrospective, we see it looks like, oh, that was so easy. We cut corners, right? Right. When you look back, then it always looks like okay, right?
You cut corners.
Cut corners, right? When we are driving a car, right? And when we look back, oh, I should not have spread, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at that time you think, okay, I could take the turn, right? You think it is right?
So you
The best
think,
thing
to be more clear, you think that it's not as easy to see when you've cut your corners. When
No,
or
I'm
when
not
at the
saying-
time you can say, okay, this was the right move, but then looking back at it, you could say, oh, that could have been done better.
better, right? It's always like you could have done things better, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think so. Whatever happened with Facebook, they had done, Mark had done intentionally. I don't think so,
Okay.
right? I think it is, the technology is complex. It has to be done in parallel, right? You have to make progress and you have to keep fixing the things, and
Right.
you have to learn from the mistakes and ensure that whatever has been developed, how you close the doors there, make it more tight, and whatever you are developing, don't stop the development. It has to go on, but you learn from your lessons and incorporate and make those things tighter,
Got it.
right?
Got it.
But don't stop the progress or don't slow down the development, right? So, because you will never be able to stop everything and say, okay, when I'll build the perfect solution, then only I'll release. That won't happen, right?
Got it. Got it. All right, so that's all the questions I had. This has been a really good discussion. Thanks so much for sitting down with me.
Thank you, Sid. Good luck. Bye.
Yep. Thank you.